Hey guys, welcome back to another Sprite animation tutorial. So today's is just it's gonna be a pretty short one. I'm not gonna be explaining too much in this one because I don't really know what to do in the next ones. But I'm gonna be explaining squash and stretch. A very simple thing to know, but effective. So a good starting point for talking about squash and stretch is the transformation point, a little white point in the middle. So this basically is if I was to stretch the sprite or squash it, it will stretch and squash around that point. So if I was to put it at the bottom, then it will do it at that point. If I was to do it in the corner, it would do it like that, but why would you want to do that? So yeah, that's the basic premise of the transformation point. It's pretty easy to understand, but the squash and stretch stuff is where it comes really useful, because there's not a whole lot of other use for it really other than, say, rotating stuff. But with squash and stretch, the way that I use it is to add a little bit more smooth frames in between certain animations that would look a bit choppy otherwise. Okay, so I've just thrown together an example really quickly, but in between those frames, yeah, it looks like, yeah, sure, it looks okay, but we can make it a little bit better if we really wanted to. So the basic premise of doing squash and stretch between sprites is you have one frame where it's normal. So when I'm doing it, I always have the transformation point at the bottom of the sprite. So it's always in that bottom square. And effectively what you do is you have one frame where it's normal, and then you have one where it's squashed. And normally I squash it by like one sprite. Well, not one sprite, one pixel rather. And then you just add a motion tween, or classic tween rather, and then it squashes. So now it's a little thing, but it looks a lot better. And if we really wanted to, we could squash this down and then bring it back up. So that's how you do the exit into the new animation, is you have one frame where it's squashed and one where it's normal. We just squash that down by one sprite, pixel rather, I keep and then it's a bit smoother. Okay, so here's one where it's really useful. So we have a sprite of Sonic crouching, and we have one of him normal. So if we just have it squashed down and then go to that sprite, it looks really choppy. So I need to single frame that because it's not meant to be like this for this context. Right. So yeah, you have one. You see, it doesn't look that good. So there's a few ways you can do this. So I need to just change the transformation point here. So now we can do this if we want to, but I don't know how well that's gonna. It works. It does the job, but we can make it better. We can make it look much better. So what we can do with this is we can do this. So what you do is you just get to the line at the top and drag it across, and then it lets you do this to the sprite. And then if we do it on this one as well, okay, so that doesn't look very good. But the idea is, since he's changing his trajectory, it should. So that looks a bit better. So I can't really do it right now. I've done it with multiple sprites in the past, where they go from like standing straight to like ducking or whatever. I suppose one way of doing it, not that. I don't know what's going on with this. Yeah, you get the idea. So the entire point of squash and stretch is to basically just add more frames in between sprites that don't have any frames, or in sprites that have frames but need more. Okay, so that's it for today's video, guys. So I'm just explaining squash and stretch, why people do it, why you'd want to do it. It just makes stuff smoother, effectively. So thanks for watching. I'm sorry this one wasn't very good, not very long, not very interesting, but you know, I'm running out of things to talk about. So if you guys have any suggestions for things I should talk about, leave it in the comments below, and I'll look through and see what ones I should do next. So see you guys next time.